When's the last time you were an auctioneer?
A year ago or something like that.
Yeah. Can you do it now?
Yes, I can.
Give me a taste of it. I don't know how to do it,
All
but
right.
what are you going to do?
We're going to start a sale.
Okay.
All right. Gather around, folks. It's about time to get started. Get your minds all on you. Grab your pocketbook and let's go to work. And then we'll sell whatever it is. I'll sell this here chair there. All right. What would you give for boys? How many dollars worth? Somebody give me $10. I got 2.5, 5. I got 5, 7.5, 7.5, 10. Yep, 10, 12 and a half. Whoa. I want to sell it. I'm not trying to rent it.
Hey everybody, Matt Griswold back with another episode of Why Do You Call Bolivar Home? And today I am with Don Roberts. And this has just been a great series, learning new people and being able to interact with new people and hear their stories. And I think you're a person that maybe needs no introduction for a lot of people too, but for maybe the people that don't know you, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't know anything about myself.
I do. Your favorite color's red.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like gravy.
Yeah. Like beef, meat.
Meat. Yeah. Meat. You've been in the beef industry for quite a while. You won a Pioneer Award last year through Beef Days, I guess is what I saw. Is it? Oh, okay. It's up there on the wall. We'll make sure to get a picture.
Yeah.
Make sure to get a picture of that. Okay. There it is. Yeah. So you won that Pioneer Award. What did that mean to you?
Well, I didn't figure I deserved it, but they thought I did. I really appreciated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think you did not deserve it?
Well, I don't know if I had any reason that I didn't need it. I just always done what I thought I need to be done. That's the way I operate.
Yeah. You've been in this area your whole life, you said. Where were you?
From day one.
Where were you born?
I was born at the north part of the county, down around Sentinel and Polk area.
Yeah.
About 15 miles north of Bolivar.
Were you born at home at the time,
Yeah,
I guess? Yeah. Yeah. And that's how long were you raised there? How long did you live out there?
Well, we lived there, we moved out there when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And moved to Bolivar, out here by the sale barn.
Okay.
And I was born in August in real hot weather. And my granddad had a house down there. They called the Weenan House. And he had 11 kids. Every one of them, if they got married, they'd go down there and stay 6 months or a year, free rent, till they could kind of get out on their own. And that's what they call it, the Weenan House. When a tornado come through there, I don't know when it was, and took the little house away. And then my grandson, he built him a new house down there, a little ways from it. Can't see it from the highway. And Sid got it to 400 and some odd acres. And that's Grandpa's place. And we moved out there in 1946 to Bolivar, and Dad wanted to get us out of there so we could get acquainted with somebody and get an education. Because back then, the old roads was bad. There wasn't no communication. Just had the old ring telephone and no television.
Yeah.
And so that's what we done, and stayed there till I got married.
What was life like out there? I mean, what was your day to day? I mean,
well, you just went about your duties. Whatever had to be done had to be done. Of course, Dad was a farmer, and he was always putting out crops or putting up hay or something of that order. He had a lot of good friends and neighbors and brothers. They all kind of just worked together.
Yeah.
And it was raised there in a little old town they call Mohawk.
Huh.
That's north of Bolivar, about 15 miles. And it's nothing. Of course, nothing there now, but there used to be a store building there. I don't. I just remember the building and being there, but I don't remember people who operate. Now then, they've got a boat storage, and
Oh,
I don't know something else maybe there on the corner.
yeah.
And my son, they took a corner off of that place right there at Mohawk, and he lived there until he passed away. And then they sold it in 5 acres. Other than that, all the original land sits there where I was born at.
Yeah. And how many acres out there?
480, I believe it is.
I bet growing up on that much land, I know you moved into town, you said to be around people and go to school and things like that, but I bet you learned a lot in those 10 years or whatever that you were. That was probably some of the best education you had.
I think probably did.
Yeah.
Probably did.
Did that kind of lay a foundation for what you wanted to do later?
Well, he just always said, be honest and work. And never let the good day go by without accomplishing something.
Okay.
That was his theory. Sundays and all, they were religious. They'd go to church, come home and change his clothes. Might be whatever time might be. He'd go do something. Might be go out there and sharpen some post or fix a little fence or tack a barn door up. He said accomplish something every day. And that was his theory. He poked that into us. And I've always been that way until I've got work, can't get around.
Yeah.
I always want to do something every day.
Do something, just get better every day.
Yep.
Try to do something every day.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's great. So how many siblings did you have?
Oh, I had one brother. I had one brother.
Yeah. Okay.
And he got killed with a bull.
Oh, wow.
And
When was that?
99.
Yeah. Yeah. 99. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Just the one sibling though, but you said I want to make sure I got it right. You said did you say your granddad had 11 kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and my grandma had 10. And they all got
and then they married and wow. So he came with 11 kids and she came with 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. The weaning house was busy then. Is that right? The weaning house?
Yeah.
That was a busy place.
Yeah.
I don't know why you needed to move into town to meet people.
I can remember real well. After I was grown, I had an uncle that was I might he was 10 or Uncle Lester, he 10 or 15 years older than I am. And he was the last one that lived in the weaning house. And he of course, I was just a kid now. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents.
Yeah.
I mean, they were real close-knit family. It'd never be hardly a day or two go by where Dad wouldn't talk to his dad or grandpa or something like that. Go by and say hi. And I carried that on up till they got where he couldn't go. If I was in that area, I stopped and seen him.
Yeah.
Might not stay for 15 minutes. But I like to visit with him because he could tell you about old times. And he enjoyed having somebody come by. And I done that every time I went down through Polk. Well, I'd drive by and I was through there every day or two. I delivered bulls. I was in the bull business. I'd stop and see Grandpa.
Yeah. Family is important to you.
Yes, very important. Very important. And of course, my grandma, she was from a big family. On my mother's side, there were 16 kids. 16 Uncle Walters had 16 kids.
Wow.
And they all settled in that area, except 2 or 3 did go to California. And they've just been passed away. Just every month or so, they all got old.
Yeah.
And there ain't hardly any of them left. And on Dad's side, they're all gone.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
time gets away from you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So you moved from out there into Bolivar, out by where the sale barn is now, you said?
yeah, right there where the sale barn. We bought that 204 acres.
Okay.
And we moved in 1946.
Okay. I read somewhere the sale barn, I think you opened that, was that 59?
50, yeah, 58. No. 59.
59?
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But see, I was at Buffalo
Oh, okay.
4 years before that.
Had a sale barn there?
Yeah, I had a sale barn.
Okay. You owned a sale barn in Buffalo also?
Yeah, I owned half interest in it.
Okay.
And I sold out and come to Bolivar and built that one.
Okay.
And then they burnt down 2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when that happened.
Oh, that was a terrible, terrible deal.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still operating out. You're still operating out of there, though, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember when that happened. That was a big deal. That's been, like I said, I haven't been around as long, but I've been in the Bolivar area since the early '80s or so, and so, but that sale barn has always been a staple of the community, right there.
It's a world of people comes there from all over.
Yeah,
we have them come from Canada, come through and stop. Hawaii.
Wow. Yeah, and I saw that you had like 5 generations of family work there with you. Is that right?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah. That's for somebody what that family means a lot to you. That's got to be kind of special also.
I started out, me and my brother. Mother worked in the office. Then I got married and my wife worked there. And Dad worked in the back. As he got older, he didn't like to be back there around all them cattle. He had park people.
Yeah.
Showed you where to park.
He would valet people, huh?
And he was easy going. And he'd say, I know some of the people have to be the biggest liars. He'd say, Claude, I'll just park right here. I'm just going to be going just a minute.
Right. I'm just running in and out. I won't be.
They'd go and wouldn't come back. He said, I know they're the biggest liar I've ever seen. But he enjoyed that. He'd come over to sale barn. Of course, he had nothing to do with the sale barn itself. But he'd come over there and park their cars. And then we'd have the garbage and stuff. And he'd pick that up, take it home over and feed it to his old hogs and a few old sows and stuff. But he'd always around that sale barn. And then another thing he done on Sunday, he'd carry a 5-gallon bucket and walk that parking lot and pick up glass bottles. That's when everything's in glass.
Oh.
And he'd sometimes get a bucket full or maybe 2 buckets full of old broken glass. And he couldn't stand that because he was afraid somebody, he'd pick it up. Of course, if you done away with that, now then they come out there and pick up them aluminum cans.
Right.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. How many people go through there? How often do you have a sale?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week.
How many people you think go through there on a weekly basis?
Oh, God. I don't know. Probably 200 or 300.
200 or 300 on a weekly basis like that.
Yeah.
What made you want to do that?
Huh?
What made you want to do that? Open the sale barn there. Why did you choose to get into that?
I was working for MFA exchange here. And I was working at I first started out at the milk plant.
Oh.
All right, it got dry in the summertime. Production went down. Wasn't much milk.
Where was the milk? Where was the milk plant?
Milk plant, right? Well, you don't know where the old water cow was. It's right there, just east of the fire station.
Okay.
That building and stuff there.
Yep.
in a big building, and I worked there through the summer, and then got laid off every summer. I'd get when everything dropped down, and I was at the elevator. I went to work MFA, unloading wheat. The wheat they used to produce a lot of wheat here. Don't anymore much. And unload them trucks. Well, the wheat went out. When I got all the wheat harvested, I was out of a job.
Yeah.
I told them boys, I said, boys, I'm going to go to auctioneer school. And they laughed. They laughed at me. And I said, well, I'm going. So I got me sent off to Mesa City, Iowa,
Yeah.
Rice auction school. And I talked to him. His name is Joe Rice. Nice fellow you ever met. He said, yeah, come on up. We'll give you an education. That's about furthest I'd ever been, might say, from home. I got on the bus, went to Mesa City, Iowa.
Yeah.
And the class run 2 weeks. And it got you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you studied till 6, 7 o'clock that night. He said, if you come into Mesa City, Iowa, to have parties, drink, go to the office and pick up your check and go home.
Yeah.
And that's just what it meant.
You were there to work.
You were there to work.
Yeah.
And I came home then and went to Buffalo. A man by the name of Harvey Simmons was running that barn. And I asked him if he'd hire somebody. He said, no, I'm not interested in hiring anybody, but I'll let you work all you want to work. Free gratis.
For free.
So that's what I done. I went over there and sold, and they had outside stuff and cattle and sold that. And a fellow over there by the name of Snyder, Jim Snyder, he said, no, why don't we buy that off of him? He said, we're doing all the work and not getting no money for it. So we went down there, and I never will forget, I went in there on Saturday evening after sale. He was sitting there, him and his girlfriend. Said, Harvey, you still want to sell this barn? Yeah, I sure do. He had been the state representative years before that. We made a deal, and I bought it, and I run it 4 years, me and James. And I decided that we didn't have no falling out about anything. In 4 years, I said, I'm going to Bolivar. Jim said, well, we ain't enough business for both of us. I said, well, I'll find out. So I come back here, and Dad had that land out there. And I said, Dad, I need some land. He said, well, son, there's about 5 acres there. I'll let you have it. But I'm not going to deed it to you. Because if you do anything wrong, I'm going to take it back.
Smart. Smart.
He meant that too. And that's what I done. I come back, and that was in 58. 58. 58. I started in the building that thing back. And you wouldn't believe it, but I had 6 or 8 guys, good carpenters, come in there and help me build it for nothing. They wanted a sale barn here.
Oh wow! So they volunteered to help you build the sale barn because they wanted the sale barn.
They'd be there at 8 o'clock, and stay till 5 or whatever it might be. And they was good carpenters with a saw and a hammer, and we put that thing together. It might say less than 6 months, and it started operating.
You know what I think is also, I don't want to get lost in this story here. I don't think you would find people like yourself nowadays that would have volunteered to work over there for nothing, and then you find the other people here just want to see something good happen, so they volunteer to do it. I think that's kind of a lost art generation.
I know it is.
So,
I know it is.
Yeah.
I had an old farm back over south here, and the fence rows and everything growing up, and the people come in there and clean that thing out on both sides. course, they got the wood out of it to clean it up, free of charge. Now then, every time you want anything done, $20, $40, $50, anything made it to 100, 200.
Yeah.
I never. It's just difference in time.
Yeah. Those are that's part of what I can agree to is the good old days there. I would agree with that.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, what I meant to ask you, and I want to pick that back up, but when you moved into Bolivar to go to school, did you go to South Ward?
No, I went to a little country school out east of Bolivar
Oh.
called Wilmington.
Oh, okay.
They turned it into. It was the last schoolhouse built in Polk County.
Wilmington.
Wilmington, yeah. Yeah, you know where the city dump road is?
I do not.
It's east of Bolivar, about 2.5 miles.
Okay.
And they call it the dump road because that's where they used to take all the trash and junk.
Yeah.
Down there and dump it. Of course, the state made them stop and they just dumped it on an old bluff. They would roll down into Pumitar River.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And they put a lock on her and made them clean it up.
Is that schoolhouse gone?
Oh, no,
Still
they
there?
turned it into a nice home.
Oh, the school itself they turned into a home?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a nice home, dude.
Okay.
Like I say, it was built, most of them old schools, houses, they was tall and they fell down. This was a little shorter and wasn't as big as some of them. It was about 15, not more than 18, most of them down to 12, 15 students all ever went there.
Wow.
And I went there for 4 years.
Okay. Okay. When you said you wanted to come back to Bolivar to build the sale barn, what made you want to come back to Bolivar? Why was it just because it was home, or was there something else about Bolivar?
A lot of good people around Bolivar.
Yeah.
It's a good. Yeah, I can't explain it all, but you felt at home when you come to Bolivar.
I would agree.
I had people that come in and said, "Dude, this is the nicest little town I ever seen. Somebody done this for me yesterday, or done that, and it's just a good town." Of course, I served on the city council, 13 years, so I knew a little bit about Bolivar. I've seen it grow. I could tell you about it, pretty near about any part of it you need to know, because I've been here all the time. And
what made you run for city council? Why'd you want to do that?
I didn't want to. They kept dinging on. We need some young fella that knows all the people and knows about the town. Well, okay.
You didn't want to, but you stayed for 13 years.
They just kept me on there. And that shows you the difference. We met every week. You go down there and sit and take care of business, and it lasts an hour and a half. It'd be over a street light or a street or something. It got to where it was going to midnight. Many more problems. The town grew, and it just happened. A lot of people didn't think anything about it, but you take dogs. People go, "Oh, we're disturbed about dogs." So we are a dog catcher, and he was a pretty good friend of mine. I used to go hunt with him. He's a big old boy, kind of like you and me. His name was Lloyd Stewart. And he came to the city council. Said, "I'm quitting. I'm done." "Well, Lloyd, what's the matter?" He said, "I walked up to the grocery store, which is up there where Woods is at now." And he said, a couple of old kids go, "That's the man that got my dog." Oh, started crying. And he said, "I love kids." And he said, "I'm quitting." So he had to look for a different one. And just all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
And then used to be when I went on the council, we had a street light about every 2 or 3 blocks. Everybody got a own street light on their block.
Yeah.
And of course, we had to make that decision. But I enjoyed, and we, like I say, it used to last an hour and a half. We'd gonna stand till midnight, and then we'd go out to the truck harbor and get a cup of coffee and maybe eat a piece of pie and ice cream. That's just the way the town had grew.
Yeah. I remember the old truck harbor. I remember truck harbor. I haven't thought about that in a long time till you just said that. I remember that.
It was 2 guys built. I remember when they built it, and they had a good business and a lot of traffic and a good place for people to stop by. And,
a cup of coffee and a slice of pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love it.
We now then it's all changed. Of course, the roads had a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
You take a truck harbor, and then out on some farther south at Slagle, they had what they call a Little Bohemian.
I've heard a little bit about this place, but not much.
It was before the truck harbor, where they both operated together. But Little Bohemian, and the reason I guess they called it that is a lot of Bohemians up that way. I made a lot of them. Maybe not as many now as it used to be because they died off.
Yeah.
But that was a kind of a meeting place for all the kids, and traffic come right to the front door. It wasn't 20 feet between that and the highway.
Yeah.
And people stop in there, and there's a Slagle, of course, down in and went around it. You don't even know what's there.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you this. How many kids, did you say you had 4 kids? Okay. Tell me about your kids.
That's one of them right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Is she the favorite or least favorite or worse? No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
I think a lot of all of them. But I lost my boy.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack and died. And then my other daughter works down there for Oak Star. And then I've got another daughter, my baby daughter, she was a twin to my. I had a set of twins in there.
Okay.
And my other daughter married that student camper boy.
Ah, those student campers.
Yeah. And that's kind of my family.
Yeah. That's and grandkids and great grandkids. Yeah. Are you going for that big family like you came from, or?
I don't even know how many great grandkids I got. 30. 36.
36 great grandkids. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Do you get to see your kids and grandkids quite a bit, or?
Oh yeah, of course. I ain't got a house big enough to handle them all, but they come and go.
Yeah,
they come and go.
Yeah.
Her son.
And this is Debbie.
Debbie.
For the people off camera, this is Debbie's right over here.
Debbie has got a boy in Denver. He mows my yard, works at the sale barn, and he'll take care of my cattle. Because I can't get around. My legs just shut out under me. And he does an awful good job. An awful good job.
How many cattle do you have now?
I don't know.
Plenty. Plenty of cattle.
I just, like I say, I haven't been out to look at my cattle for I don't know how long. I just can't get around. I got to have a walker or something.
Yeah.
And
these are those golden years they talk about.
I'd like to know who started that.
My dad says the same thing. There's nothing golden about this.
It ought to have been coal dust.
Yeah. Coal dust, not golden. That's good. What types of animals have you raised? Of course, I know cattle, but I heard you used to have a lot of turkeys too. Is that right? Or
I didn't ever raise no turkeys, but my folks raised a lot of turkeys. They were one of the first. Dad and mother was one of the first turkey breeders in Polk County.
Wow.
Abel started, and Ruby Abels And he told Dad, he said, "Now, Claude, I think we got a pretty good deal going." So they started out with a few turkeys, and it kept getting bigger. At one time, and I had this magazine, I don't know it showed a picture on a turkey world, Polk County, Missouri, the turkey capital of the world.
Wow.
And they had Ruby sitting in the middle of all these turkeys. But I don't know what happened to that magazine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so turkeys, you didn't raise you that was those weren't yours, but you had cattle. What other animals did you?
I fed a lot of cattle
Yeah.
in western states, and you know where, and I never had many sheep, and I fed several hogs.
Okay.
I had fed some in the feedlot out west, and then I always kept some around home where I fed them. Oh, a couple of hundred, something like that.
Okay. You were in the bowl operation too, you said, right? Did you? What's the one about that?
You wouldn't believe it.
Okay, tell me.
You wouldn't believe it. I started out trying to make a dollar, renting more hogs. If there's anything that people won't pay for, and that is breeding a sow, I'll pay you next week.
Yeah.
They'd never pay. I said, hell. And another thing, bigger a boar got, the older he got, cheaper he got.
Okay.
So I thought, well, I'll try the bull business. I started out with just a few.
How old were you at this time?
Oh, I was probably in my 20s.
Okay.
I started out that bull business, and it turned into one hell of a business. I had bulls every week a day. I delivered every 1 to 8 bulls, somewhere
Wow.
all over the country. I had 2 or 3 guys to help me, and I charged them. Didn't charge a lot, but I figured out how to gain. I could take an 800-pound bull, rent it to you for $25, $35, and you keep him a year. I'd go get him, he'd be winning 1,000, 1,100.
Yeah.
Bigger they got, higher they got. I just kept doing that, and I got me 2 or 3 guys that was well known. I'd give them 10 or 15 bulls. Just say, here, take them and rent them out. I'll give you half whatever you give. All right, if you keep them things, you gain 300 pounds or 300. I got the money.
Yeah.
And I done that. I plumb up to, I don't know when I quit the bow business.
Mama was still alive.
She said Mama was still alive.
Within the last
Who?
20 years, about 20 years ago, you started.
About 20 years ago?
15. 15 and I quit it.
Yeah.
And if I kept it today, it'd be worth no telling how much money.
Yeah.
They brought the bulls and also. It took me about a year and a half or so to get rid of all of them.
Wow.
They're scattered all over the country. And if you had a bull, use him. I didn't want to take him away from you. I will let you get done with him. And I kept some of them up till just a couple of years ago. I had 2 or 3 real good customers, and I would not take a bull away from them. And so that's what got happened. But they brought a lot of money. They'd bring it there. It would be in the millions of dollars.
Oh wow.
That they would brought.
Wow.
Uh,
Was that one of your favorite things?
yeah.
The bull business?
I really enjoyed the bull business. I done that and done that in the auction business. It worked real good together. Had a lot of good help, a lot of good friends.
Yeah. When's the last time you were an auctioneer? Do you still do that? You just talk around the house like that at all, or?
Oh, let's see. I worked down there at the sale barn a year ago or something like that.
Yeah.
2 years ago. I can still do it.
Yeah. Can you do it now?
Yes, I can.
Give me a taste of it. I don't know how to do it,
All
but
right,
what are you going to do?
we're going to start a sale.
Okay.
All right, gather around, folks. It's about time to get started. Get your minds all in there, grab your pocketbook, and let's go to work. And then we'll sell whatever we're doing. Sell us here chair there. All right, what would I give from boys? How many dollars for work? Somebody give me $10. I got 2.5, 5. I got 5, 7.5, 7.5, 10. Yep, 10, 12 and a half. Whoa. I'm going to sell it. I'm not trying to rent it. That's where we go. 10, 15, 20.
Yeah.
That's 25, 30. And keep it going.
Yeah.
And that's the way I done it.
Yeah. I love the witty comments of auctioneers. I love it when they're witty like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell it, not rent it. That's a good line.
Yeah.
It's a good line.
You just come up with that. Just something I picked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
What made you want to do that anyway? Were you always good with words, or what made you say auctioneer is where I'm going to go?
well, I always did like to listen to an auctioneer. From the time I was just a little bitty boy, I liked to go to auctions and hear them. And I thought, well, if I can do that. And I'm not bragging, but I got pretty good at it.
I can tell.
Well, we had majority of the sales in that time period when I had my brother, and he never did go to school. He said, "You're so damn smart. I want you to teach me how to do it." All right, I'll do it, son. So we got him going, and he was a pretty good auctioneer. Hey, you talk about witty.
Yeah, it is witty. He was witty?
You get just a little bit raw sometimes, and he enjoyed embarrassing people, especially his friends. I never did like to embarrass anybody.
Yeah.
But he would.
Yeah.
And
well, you get people laughing and in a good mood, and then they start to engage
right.
a little bit more. Yeah, that's good.
And I can just think of all the funny things. He never did like for words. He could come up with something that quick. I'll never forget down there all the time as an old man going with this young woman. It was in the conveyance and the stockyards in Springfield. And it was about midnight. I was working down there. And we come out down the hallway there, and Garner walked over there and put his arm around this gal and talking to her. Here come this old boy that's kind of going with her. And he said, "Oh, Garner, said I caught you, didn't I?" Garner turned around to him and said, "No, said I just a hold until you got here."
Didn't want her to get away on you.
Yeah. He just that away.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I like the wit and the words, and that's fun.
Yeah.
It's also important to enjoy what you do. It sounds like you really enjoyed.
I enjoyed
what you
life.
did.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What are some other things that you were involved in? I know things like 4-H and FFA.
I was 4-H. Oh, as long as I could stay there, I guess. Then when I got in the FFA, I made state farmer. And I was graduated right on up the line.
Okay.
And I was on a lot of judging teams.
Yeah.
We'd go to Jeff City and Columbia, and then all that. I never did go after I got out of high school. I never did go to college or nothing that. I just went to work. Like I say, just had a job until I got transferred over.
Yeah. What do you hope maybe your kids or grandkids or all those great grandkids maybe take from this awesome life that you've lived? What do you hope that you pass to them?
Well, I'd say they'll all do about what I've done. They're going to follow my footprints. And I think they'll all stay around Bolivar. Just like all of them now. I haven't got any of them. I can't think. It's away from everything. It's it.
Dusty?
Oh yeah. Now he's followed my footprints a lot. My boy had two boys. One of them's got the slaughter plant here,
Okay.
runs a meat plant. And Dusty is the oldest one. Murder girl up at Olean. Real nice girl. And he bought the stockyards at Olean.
Oh, wow. Where is that?
Well, it's south and west of Jeff City, right, Debbie?
It's Miller.
Miller County.
It's
Olean?
they're on.
Oh, yeah.
Is that on 40 highway or
54?
54? I've just been up there one time. It's about 90 miles from here, is that right? Somewhere 90 miles. And he has got went up there, the man that had it was a good friend of mine. Died in a heart attack. Would have sat around and nobody would want to undertake a bigger deal. He bought it, gave $1 million for it.
Wow.
And he has got, well, it's unreal how good a business he's got.
Yeah.
His sales on Monday. He didn't have one this Monday on account of Easter. But, and he's got it wired in back there in my telephone. I can sit in there and watch it.
Yeah. I was wondering if you still followed along with all that.
Oh, I can't wait till I get started and can't stay there till it stops.
So yes.
It's got to be so tiresome though. When you're sitting in there 4 or 5 hours,
Yeah.
you get tired, my eyes get to bother me.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy watching auctions.
Yeah.
And of course, the cattle market it just went sky high.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have no idea how high some cattle is.
Well, I know, and I don't know. I'm just asking. But I know Beef Days started as kind of a celebration of the Cattlemen's
Right.
Association and,
Yeah.
and the beef industry here. So so this area is kind of a hotbed for the cattle industry, right?
Right.
And the beef industry, I guess, in particular.
Yeah.
So people come from all over because this area is well known for the beef industry. Is that
Yeah.
right?
We got good cattle here. Not as good a cattle as they've got some places. Of course, a lot of our cattle have got some dairy cross in them, which they don't have the frame and the muscling.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of fescue that made the cattle market. You take an old cow and turn it on fescue. If you handle them right, you can about stay on that year round by rotating them and that's the main thing in Polk County is the cattle business and the grain. Like I told you, the grain business. When I worked for MFA or Exchange, worked out there at the elevator unloading wheat. They bought 206 loads of wheat.
Wow.
Here in Bolivar, Missouri. You can't believe it.
Yeah. Where were the wheat farms?
All around.
All over. They were selling.
The Bohemian people out here, southwest of Bolivar, were all heavy wheat farmers. I mean, they'd bring that wheat in there. Of course, it was from every place. Then that was their income.
Yeah.
Wheat was a good price. Then we could grow it easy. You could plant in the fall, harvest it in the spring, and if you wanted to, you could have your bale of straw. Or you could feed it or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Wheat's a good grain. It's just something like in the north, they grow corn.
Yeah.
They don't grow wheat up there north. Or very little.
Yeah.
But that's an old lawsuit. Well, I don't think they would buy scarcely no wheat.
Yeah.
And think about buying 200 carloads of wheat.
Yeah.
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 I remember the time when I was working up there at the elevator. We put about 100 ton weed on a boxcar.
Wow.
And I had the big elevators and the scales up there. Them scales broke. We didn't know it. They just kept unloading that weed. Well, that guy got up there by Osceola and they weighed them cars. You've got to go up there and unload it.
Wow. It's too heavy.
We took 2 trucks. Now you talk about a day and this in July, maybe August, I remember.
Yeah.
Here this big old boxcar was plumb full of weed. How do you get it down there? Yeah, you can knock a hole in it and let it run out.
Yeah.
But we took them trucks. I can remember crawling in there and taking a scoop shovel, started scooping it out. It was me and 2 other guys, Carl Fisher and Johnny Altek. And we got up there probably about 10 o'clock. We filled 2 truckloads of wheat.
With a shovel.
With a shovel. Yeah.
In July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds awful. Yeah.
So and see that elevator burnt here. We had a big elevator here.
Okay.
It burnt down. I don't know. It probably burned down in the 60s. Something like that.
Yeah.
Them changed the bearing and dropped the hot bearing in there.
Oh no.
And tried to set her on fire.
Yeah.
It was probably, maybe 35. I don't know how tall it was. Had an elevator, you rode up in it. You get to the top of it. And they bought a tremendous amount they buy any kind of grain. And they had scales there, of course. And then underneath it, they had phosphate bins where they unload them rail cars with phosphate to spread on the field.
Okay.
And it was a big operation because that all burnt down.
Yeah.
And they've got a nice elevator left there now.
Yeah.
And I had my auctioneer sticker, a little card. When I come back out of auction school, I went up for one day and I put one of them cards. And it was there until it burnt down. Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah.
What's it? You mentioned earlier you don't have a house big enough to hold everybody, living on hundreds of acres, and now you're in town. What's that like for you?
Well,
I know my wife, she grew up in the country, and we live in a subdivision now, and she said she feels like she lives in a fishbowl because we're surrounded by people, but it's convenient.
that's kind of the way that I feel. I'd just give anything in the world if I could get up and walk.
Yeah.
Go out there and put me out a big garden, go fishing if I wanted to. Do anything. If I wanted to go to the bathroom, I could just go.
Yeah.
You can't do that here in town.
Yeah. Some of the things you take for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounded like you had other hobbies too. You like to fish and garden.
I like to fish and garden, and I love the coon hunt.
Oh.
I used to be in Bill Baum.
Yeah. Yeah.
With old coon hunters.
Okay.
And we'd go about every night during the season if the weather was fit, all over the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had been from the Arkansas line and from before Clinton. And somebody would say, come up with us, go hunting. And we traded a few dogs too. Yeah, we'd go up there and hunt and try and buy and sell.
Were you involved? You were involved with that with Bill Bob?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. He talked about over 1,600 dogs that he has bought and sold and all over the place.
Bill Baum, he deals in a good dog.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a good dog, Bill Baum didn't have him. He used to always bring me some tomatoes or a ear of corn or something, just real good friends.
Yeah.
Of course, see, his dad was a county agent here, and he was over the 4-H,
Yeah.
and that we got acquainted with him. Of course, Bill Ball was a little younger than I am, and then he had another sister. But he had two sisters together. Yeah, they just good people.
Yeah.
They I can't think. They was up close, come from up around Columbia, Concordia, somewhere up in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I enjoyed getting to know Bill Bob. I've always known, he wears that hat. I asked him about that. That's how I can spot him. He's got that hat on there, but I've enjoyed getting to know him and hear his story too.
See, he was a county clerk there for,
Yeah.
I don't know, 2 or 3 terms. And it was good. And you'd go up there and have something signed. He'd sign it, fill it out. What are you? Oh, nothing. I've never seen him charge anybody anything. I was in the fur business.
In the fur business?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I had to fill out these reports. And they had to be signed, and I'd take them up there. Everybody else that I knew, they'd charge them $2.50 or $2 or something. Notarizing, Oh, Bill, no. And he's got such a neat little handwriting.
Yeah.
But he did so lots of good dogs.
Yeah, that's right. He talked about that.
I'm talking about some high dollar dogs. And everybody that I ever talked to would believe what he said.
Yeah.
He didn't lie to them. I'll take you and show you.
Yeah.
And he'd take him out here and tree a coon. And if he had a little bad fall, he'd tell him.
Yeah.
He might trash once in a while, he might run a deer. But most people said, oh, no, he don't trash.
Yeah.
But Bill Ball was honest.
What furs did you trade in there?
Coons, possums, skunks, muskrat, beaver.
So did you go hunt all these and did you hunt all those and then get the furs? Or?
No, I bought them.
You bought the furs?
Yeah. Me and my wife, we started a fur business, and I had a route. I'd go on Mondays, go over through Dallas County and the edge of Camden County and come back up through Hickory County every Monday and pick up I had some spotters that buy that fur, and I'd go in there and buy it. I'd bring it home and I sold it to Hensley Hide and Wool at Waynesville.
Okay.
That's who I sold it to. And made some pretty good money. Of course, I knew the people, and wasn't nobody else. The only competition I had an old boy Collins tried to buy a little fur, and then Webb Foster down there at MFA. He bought just a little bit. Of course, he was working there, and then it ended up he finally. I got the partner with me. They wanted me to partner with him, but he'd buy them and I'd take them off his hands. And I had fur. Can't believe how much fur I bought. You just wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Clarence Hensley had a Hensley Hide and Wool at Waynesville. They're one of the bigger fur dealers in the United States. But we got to be personal friends. And he just took me in like you were a stepkid.
Yeah.
Here's my checkbook. Now this handed me a checkbook, all signed. Checks are all signed. You're in a deal bigger than you can handle. Give him that check. And they're a total stranger.
Wow.
Clarence Hensley. Well, I love the old man to death. But he'd say, don't get excited now, just take it easy. Just take it easy. I said, Clarence, I can do this or do that. Well, you know what you're doing. I'll help you. And that's what he done. He and he'd come after that wool. I'd buy wool with it in the summertime. There used to be several sheep around here. Zero anymore.
Yeah, you don't see sheep anymore.
And what few you see is them kind that lose the wool. You know, they don't have to share them.
Yeah.
And it got to be, Dad always had about 50 ewes. And it cost around $1, $1 and a quarter a head to get them sheared. And first thing you knew, over the years, it got up to 5. So the wool had bring 4. So that's how come to put that wool business.
Wasn't worth it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You've lived a life. You have many experiences that money can't buy. You know that?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people told me.
That's true. You have many experiences that money can't buy, and stories to go with it, which I love. I love it. I love the story of it there too. But you've lived a life doing things that you've loved to do and enjoy to do, and I could tell even when I was asking you about the bowl business, and your face just lit up and you smiled, and you're still that's still something that's near and dear to you. But what else maybe is something that's impacted your life, or something that maybe you look back on and say this was a big moment, or something like that? Anything, or have we covered it all?
Well, it looked like we did a pretty good job of covering it. Debbie might be able to tell you more than I can.
She was an avid deer hunter too, not just raccoon.
Yeah, you were an avid deer hunter. You like deer hunting?
Yes, I love it. I used to love it, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I killed for 3 years in a row. Walmart said, who put that on? You remember?
I don't know. I remember that.
They paid for the first deer and the biggest deer they brought in. Would you believe that I won that thing 3 years in a row?
Yes, I would. I would believe that.
They said, you've done it, you killed him the night before, or you had him tied up. I said, no. But boy, I come so damn close of getting beat out the last year. It just happened. I heard this old boy shoot. I killed my deer and down there on the Bolivar. I come out and I had a gate open. Well, I seen him a coming. Of course, he cussed me. He wanted to leave that gate open. I said, well, I want to be the first. I know what she's going to do. And God dang, I come down pretty fast. Checked in, and he was right behind me. And I got that 3 years in a row. And the first deer and the biggest deer, be checked in out there.
Yeah. Was that your land you were hunting on, or?
No, it wasn't my land. This is what they call a blue bottom. It's 3,400 acres of it. Yeah, it sold the other day. A good friend of mine had it. He died, and they split it up and sold it. But 30-some hundred acres, and it had a lot of deer on it. And I had a key. Of course, I kept my lock. I had a key to get in there. That's why I knew where they were going. And,
yeah. Did you keep it? Did you mount any of them, I assume?
Did what?
Did you have any deer mounts or anything? I didn't see
No.
Yeah.
But
did you like the deer hunting better than the fishing and things like that, or the coon hunting?
Well,
or you just liked it all? You just liked the sport of it?
I like the sport. I like to be out. I love to go to Colorado, where most a lot of my deer hunting, the elk hunting, I done in Colorado.
Okay.
Fishing, all that I done here. I wouldn't say that I would take one over the other, but you get up in them mountains in Colorado. I had some kind of bad experiences. You can sure take a chance of dying.
Yeah.
I had a good friend of mine who was up for hunting. He fell and broke his leg. Just me and him. Hey, you talk about putting you in a spot.
Yeah.
Here you're up here, I don't know how many hundreds of feet on a mountain. There you get your buddy broke his leg. Each one of us had a rifle. You get to get him down off that mountain. Just him, 2 guns, and the man. Boy, he held on to me. Just take it on like nobody did it. But I got him down.
Wow.
And that kind of let me up on that deer hunting. I just kind of find I quit.
Yeah.
I love the elk hunt. That's a sport of its own. And you got to work at it to kill an elk. But we killed one about every year. Yeah, I did. That was a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
Still, I think I am.
Yeah.
But deer hunting, these deer with this damn disease and stuff.
Yeah.
I've just kind of just got off of it. Just quit that.
Well, I love to fish, but I don't catch any fish. Do you have any tips? I can't catch a fish. You're looking at me like I'm joking. I love to fish, but
What's the matter with you?
I don't. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's this, or maybe it's the lure, or what should I do?
Keep trying.
Keep trying.
I never had no trouble catching fish.
I would imagine that's true. Yeah.
I could catch fish one way or the other with some. Now, you're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
You know the way that I catch a lot of catfish? With pantyhose.
With pantyhose? Okay, how?
Take a little piece of pantyhose silk, get you some fish food. Of course, it's got an odor to it, and catfish just love it. Just put your 2 or 3 pieces in, tie them with a string, run the hook through it, throw it out there, and of course, them fish will smell it. You got him.
And just right on the pantyhose, huh?
Yeah, they just go crazy over it.
Without the hook?
Huh?
You have to have a hook, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. See, this is why I'm not good at that. I was just going to go throw pantyhose with fish food in the water. You have a hook.
Just take a little. I always carry some in my tackle box. Just 3 or 4 pieces of little old pellets. Wrap them up real tight. Just run you a little silver hook. Throw it out there. I mean, they'll grab it and go.
Well, you make it sound easy. I'm going to try it, but.
When I was trot lining, I never was just a big ant. The trot line, we used a lot of ivory soap.
What would the ivory soap do?
It served as a bait. It has got some kind of grease in it as the water, and them fish can smell that. They'll come to it, they get it, grab it, and go.
Ivory soap.
Just take it and slice it off with a little chunk. Put a little hole in it and put your hook right through it. And that water will make it, that's it, go down there.
I feel like I've been spending too much money on the fancier things instead of ivory soap and pantyhose.
Yeah.
I could have been doing that, but and it's funny because we would fish off the bank a lot, and for years I would tell my wife the reason I wasn't catching them is because I needed a boat because I got to get out there, and so then we got a boat, and it hasn't helped, but the boat's a lot of fun. I like the boat. It's mostly we ride in it, not fish out of it.
But I always had fish.
Yeah,
and I could catch fish.
Well,
Debbie knows that.
Yeah, I love a fish fry. We just don't typically have the fish to fry. You know what I mean? Like
they get some of that big old fish. They're at my house. We come in one day, him and a couple of other boys, and I had a cleaning place where we cleaned stainless steel table, hooks, hook them up there, them catfish and stuff. And they said, Dad, bring me my tennis shoes out of the boat. I went and looked, and I said, son, there's just one shoe. Oh, well, I got you. You know what you're looking for. It's just, I said, there's just one shoe in this boat. There they come. And this catfish weighed 60 pounds.
Yeah.
That long. That son of a buck had it, swallowed that one of them shoes.
The catfish swallowed the shoe?
Yeah. He wear about a 12, 14 shoe. And of
Wow.
course, them old catfish, when they're mad, they'll grab a hold of anything. And they had him land in this boat. They grabbed that thing and swallowed it. My granddad's place, as you go down the D highway, when you got there at Mohawk, he owned all that land right there at the
Before
highway
you
corner.
got to the intersection.
And of course, he,
Okay.
my boy built a house there, a little small house.
Yeah, there's a little house right there on the corner.
He sold it, getting 4 or 5 acres, and built it a house further east over there.
Okay.
You can't see it from a road, but you can see where the road goes around to
Yeah.
And it's going to look over across the holler.
Yeah.
It's a weaning house, where it used to be.
Okay.
And
I love it. I love the old story of it, and I know right what you're talking about.
yeah,
You know, sometimes we look around and we see things and we think this is the way it's always been, but it has not. And I love the history
yeah,
of that. And you wouldn't know unless you asked, right?
that's right. I went to school the first 4 years. I went to school in a little place called Star Ridge. It's about halfway between Mohawk and Rimby.
Okay.
And I went 4 years there. I was 10 years old when we moved to Bolivar.
Yeah. And I see, is that place still there? That building still there or no? Gone? Yeah.
Dozers took care of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people didn't want them around.
Yeah.
Danger, cattle getting in them.
Yeah.
I had right south of where I was raised, they called the old county farm. Uncle Bill Roberts, he owned it. So Uncle Bill still owns it. Anyway, there's an old 2-room out there, but like where I was raised. He come down to their dad's. He said, Claude, if you see anything, I've got 3 steers going.
Yeah.
That's no Bill, I haven't seen anything of them. Well, I'm afraid somebody stole them. They went up to this old house, and he had stacked hay in there. Well, that's beneath the seeds and stuff on the floor. They pushed that door open, got in there, and then pushed it back like that.
Wow.
He never thought about looking in this old house. And when they found them, it had been about 3 or 4 days. They had no water.
Yeah.
And he let them out. They went down there to the branch. One of them drank too much, died right there. The other 2 never did do any good. It just starved them flat to death for water.
Yeah.
And
that's why they don't want those houses then, though.
yeah,
Out there.
they're dangerous here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
And if you give them enough time, man, they'll go back to Mother Nature.
Yeah.
They'll rather rot and fall down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an old schoolhouse over there, above farm I own, called Robert's Schoolhouse. I can remember when it's actually a schoolhouse. Now then, there's trees out there that big around, all over the yard.
Yeah.
Growed up in that old schoolhouse. Nothing left there but a foundation, basically.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And,
You know, I talked to Gerald Andrews, and he told a story, and that something, you know, that had happened to him, and it's not about the story, but he said I wanted to share that story with you because if I didn't share that story would have died with me. and that made an impression on me. I thought that was really cool, and so that's another reason why I was curious to hear your story. And I know there's a lot of people that want to hear your story also. And so, how else do you keep things alive if you don't talk about them? Or it seems like now we're maybe not patient enough to listen for the answer or to sit down and have a conversation with people. And so I just really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Well, I've enjoyed visiting with you.
Yes, sir. I didn't know you before today, but I've enjoyed getting to know you. And
you need to come out and sail sometime.
Okay. Yeah. I can't catch a fish. I've never owned a cow, but I would probably enjoy the experience.
Right.
Of going to the sale barn.
You see the people and
yeah.
Yeah.
I love an auction.
You can't believe what some people buy.
Yeah.
Of course, I can't afford it, but I see a big variation.
Yeah.
Just like a couple of weeks ago, we had a peacock, a rooster.
Yeah.
Bring $300.
Wow.
All right. My grandson had a sale up there. He had one a month. Sells anything and everything. He had a peacock. He'd bring 100. That's just difference in what people give. And we had a chicken. I don't know. It's been probably a month and a half ago. Bring $75.
Wow.
One old hen. $75.
Yeah, my wife wants chickens right now. She wants chickens, but we live in town. I don't want to put chickens in town. I know people do, but
you can have many. I believe 4 or 5 hens, no roosters.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I know there's one that lives near me because I hear that thing going off.
We had right up the street here. We had them. They had them up there for what 4 or 5 years, but it's gone now, ain't it? You didn't take them out the last.
The chickens.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know what the deal is.
He's moving.
But they.
He's moving.
They just said it. And I think that's awful.
Yeah.
Some of them chicken up here in a 8x8 or 8x10 building.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to have free range.
Yeah. My friend, we have friends that have a bunch of those Nigerian dwarf goats. You sell those at the sale barn?
Yeah, I think we have. We have sold about everything.
Right.
You just can't believe what we've sold.
I bet.
We've had snakes.
Oh.
Debbie knows.
Pot-bellied pigs.
Pigs.
Pot-bellied pigs.
Pot-bellied pigs.
Oh, hell, them something. You know about something worthless. They are flat worthless.
Yep. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, they say.
Yeah. But, and the snake deal, I'm not in favor of selling snakes. But they had them in the cage. Was that cobras? Is that what they were?
No, I think they're pythons.
Pythons, maybe?
Yeah. Person had a cage about that long, about that big. It sat and then had a lock on it. I just don't like that.
Well, when is this? When is the sale? When does the sale take place? Is it Saturday nights or something?
Saturday day. Start about 8:30 in the morning. Then we get done sometime after dinner.
Wow.
Dinner
all day.
Lunch.
Oh, dinner being lunch. Okay, supper is dinner. Dinner's lunch, right? Are they right? Yeah. Okay.
You just eat on the road.
Yeah.
But
well, I think that sounds fun. I think the kids would probably like it too.
I'll guarantee they'll like it. They have a tremendous amount of rabbits.
He can't tell all the girls now.
Rabbits,
I might get my chicken.
rats.
Wow.
Pet rats. And everything.
Yeah.
And then we had what was that flying thing we had the other day?
A sugar glider.
Sugar glider?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it for $175. I wouldn't give 15 cents. But just everything I bring it in there, we charge pretty good commission on that stuff.
Yeah,
you got to.
Yeah,
but
I guess I never even would have known the other stuff. I would have thought farm animals, a lot of just cattle and
We
horses.
sell we used to have a horse sale, but after the barn burned,
Yeah.
we didn't have it anymore because I haven't got lights out there, and it'll run. We've had horse sales run all night long.
Wow.
Of course, any of the horses back, the biggest horse sale we ever had was 208 or 9, something like that. And you can't speed a horse sale up. They'll ride it in there and turn it in. Oh, it's gentle for kids, or grandma had it, and they'll jump off of it and run underneath it.
Yeah.
Take the saddle off. How many can you turn an hour? Not very many.
Yeah.
Because everybody takes up time.
Yeah.
And instead of leading them on out of there, they're most soon try to do it in the rain. I don't know why. Pull them outside there and let another horse come in, take that girl off, take the saddle off.
Yeah.
And we've had been in 100 saddles. That's a job too.
I bet.
From a pony saddle to a big saddle.
Yeah.
A big saddle is worth a lot of money. I mean, a good saddle.
Yeah.
Some good saddle bring anywhere from $300 to $500.
Yeah.
And but the horses ain't around anymore. They're not here.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. I could see it going to happen. Whenever 50 to 60% of the horses we sold was loaded on a trailer truck and went to killers. And I could see it. I see what was going to happen. And people, I don't want my horse to go to the killer.
Yeah.
When them killers got so high, they didn't care who we went to.
Yeah.
They interested in the money.
Yeah. That's right.
The highest killer we ever sold was a big old horse, broke $2,100.
Wow.
He'd bring a lot of money today. But most of our horses most of them went to Canada. And they shipped them to France.
Huh.
And an old man by the name of Pico lived in Canada. And he stayed all night with me one night. And how come he stayed all night? It come a big snowstorm.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be out on the road. I learned a lot of things. We stayed up with the damn near daylight, visiting, talking. He's telling me about it. He had a big killing plant up there. And he said, I tried to get enough out of the horse to clear the ham. They shipped that to France. And he wanted fatter. He didn't want a thin horse. He wanted a fat horse.
Yeah.
And of course, he's dead and gone. I guess they shut it down now. But they had a horse sale. Well, I don't know, last week, so over there I had about 25 head. Well, 25 head will pay expenses. Because they'll get 10% plus $10 yardage. You can get you $500 to $1,000, But the crowd that follows them horses is different than anything else.
Okay.
Horse people they're something else. And they love their horses, and I like horses. But I don't want them to stay in their place. They'll trump out your grass.
Yeah.
They'll kick hell out of you. And then another thing, a lot of the people that trades in them, a little short of money.
Yeah.
We had a lot of trouble with bad checks. Back 10 or 15 years ago. $125, $150.
Yeah.
And some horses are bigger ones be more, but they get their money, but they don't care if they almost will buy them, get a hot check.
Yeah.
Hope it gets swapped off.
Yeah. Well.
And then like when I first started, they didn't have to test them. Now then they've all got to be bled. Coggins.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's about $25.
Yeah.
And first thing you know, you take all 10% of selling, $10 yardage, $25 carting. You give your horse away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a different deal then.
It's altogether different.
Well,
Altogether different.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the favorite story from his grandpa?
I was going to tell you, if you come out, you'll buy something.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I'll come out about 9 o'clock, or somewhere in there. It'll be a pretty day now, but pretty day. That's what killed me now.
Yeah.
We've had the last 2 weeks, or last week and one other week, been raining.
Yeah.
Which we like the moisture, but you can't be out in the weather.
No.
You got them sheets, you got to keep it all down. They get wet, because you got umbrellas, but that still don't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're selling through the spring and winter. We sell a tremendous amount of hay.
Okay.
Sell lots and lots of hay. But that's over with till comes fall.
Well, let me ask you one other question here, because I asked you what you were hoping that your kids and grandkids took from you. What's maybe something that you took from your grandparents or parents that they instilled in you? I know that you said that just try to do something each day, try to learn something each day, try to accomplish something. Any other one of those lessons or morals or whatever that maybe you took?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just picked up what I could out of good and just try to remember it.
Well, it seems like you did a good job.
I think I have myself. I can remember. Debbie don't know this to be a fact. We're sitting there selling the cattle. It used to be I could walk in that office. I'd say, what did John buy? They'd start looking. What did he bring? I didn't have to look it up. I can tell you.
Yeah.
I can tell you right to the dollar what that old cow brought.
Yeah.
Might be able to tell you what she weighed.
Yeah.
Of course, anymore, I barely know it's a cow.
Yeah.
But that's just different, different in time.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it was also your passion, and you really, it was your livelihood, but you also enjoyed it. It wasn't just a job. It's part of who you are.
Yeah.
And so it was
I miss it. I want to be at that sale barn.
Yeah.
I get down there. Barbara gets her up every Saturday morning, or I get her up, and we head to that barn. And sometimes I get down there before they open it up, really.
Yeah.
And she's got a grandson. It's going to be the same way.
He's just 8.
He's 8 years old,
Yeah.
to be 9 in July. He lives to go to the sale barn.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll have to do that.
He just a different kid. I bless his heart. He's right there to help me if I need something. And he watches what goes on. It reminds me kind of Joe DeRee, which he was in the fur business. I done a lot of business with him. He had a little dog. And he swore to me, God, that on Saturday morning, that little dog could come in there and pull a cover over his bed.
That it was time to go to the sale barn?
He get the sale barn. And you ain't gonna believe this either. They buried the little dog with him. He got run over, Joe did. I don't know what happened. Found him dead out there on the road. Whether he had a heart attack or what. But anyway, and a lot of people don't know this. They buried that little dog with him in a casket and put it in.
Yeah.
Buried him.
Wow.
But
Buddies.
he thought a lot of that dog. He'd bring it out there at the sale barn and they'd jump around, come in and sit down by him just like a kid would.
Yeah.
And Joe always bought cattle.
Yeah.
And but people get used to. You gotta. It's a lot of people. I won't say a lot of people. It's several people that's never been to the sale barn, but a lot of them come there week after week after week.
Yeah.
They just go to the sale barn. They meet people that they never met before. They may find out what they're looking for, or they'll know somebody that is looking for something,
Yeah.
you know. And they people just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And when I shut down, in July, that when Virginia shut down in July for a month, hot.
Yeah.
You can't believe how many people call. When are you going to open back
Yeah.
up?
We're ready to go.
I don't know what to do on Saturday. I mean, you show us coming out there. Everyone there, she don't miss very many of them. She'll make it out there.
Well, we'll make it out there. We'll make it out there. We'll like to do that.
And they'll come out there, maybe just make a circle. They never get out of the car.
Yeah.
Just see who's there and what all you got.
Yeah.
We like I say, we start about 9.
Okay.
Try to clean up out there by noon. And move right on through it. It'll be 25 to 30 pages full items that we sell.
Okay. Well, do you have a concession stand too? Because the kids will want a hot dog or something.
Yeah. They've got a pretty good deal.
Okay.
It's after I had a restaurant. It was in the sale barn.
Okay.
It was 50 by 60. It was nice. And of course it burned up.
Yeah.
So Donita, my other daughter, she bought this here mobile concession.
Yeah.
You know, and she sells hamburgers, cheeseburgers, drinks, biscuits, and gravy. And
Sounds good.
she just
Okay.
sell quite a bit of stuff. It ain't like it was when I had mine.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you can't believe how many people used to come out there and eat breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, business people here in town.
Yeah.
They come out there and eat. We had one old lady there cook for me, secretary. She could make the best home fried chicken. Cooking them big old skillets,
Yeah.
about that big, and people come out there and get that. I'll tell you a little story about that. She sat out there one morning. I come in about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I said, Ethel, what's going on around here? Oh, she said, no, I don't know. She started and put this chicken cooking it. And she'd put the lard up in it off the lard plant. Well, if you know about a boar hog, you know how they stink.
Yeah.
All right. They had butchered a boar and put the grease and stuff in a big kit of the deal and heated, made it a lard. Well, she bought her lard up at the lard plant. 2 or 3 big old 5-gallon cans of it. She got that and cooked that chicken in. It stunk that whole damn sale barn up. It smells like a boar hog.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You throw it all out or did you eat it?
I'll tell you how bad it was. She sent her husband, Earl, back up there. So they give her another couple of cans of grease. Deal. Dad took these 2 cans over there, 2 5-gallon cans, and he had a bunch of chickens around there. That stuff stunk so damn bad that the chickens wouldn't even eat it. That's just, no boar hog. Oh, they stink. And they are mean.
Yeah.
That boar hog is terribly mean.
Yeah.
And there's something now, they ain't worth nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to buy a few of them. And suppose they put them in tacos and stuff in the ground.
Oh.
But I don't think they do that anymore. It's just about saying old market we're more home.
Yeah.
I've
So-
enjoyed talking with you.
I've enjoyed talking with you a lot. And again, Don Roberts, I appreciate the time. And I think, if we're talking about what makes Bolivar a great place to be or a community to live in or do business with, I think Don laid it out really well about some of the reasons why this is a great community, great people, and a great place to do business too. So if you're in the market to buy or sell in Bolivar or around the area, my name is Matt Griswold, agent with Neighborhood Real Estate. I would love to help you out. Give me a call. Till next time.